My dad passed away last year, leaving me the house we lived in. It was a tough time, but what made it even harder was my stepmother, Karen. My dad had asked her to stay in the house until I finished college, and I agreed, thinking it was the right thing to do. I figured we could coexist peacefully for a few years. Boy, was I wrong. Things started small. She complained about my study habits, my friends coming over, even the way I loaded the dishwasher. I tried to be patient, reminding myself this was her home too for now. But her attitude just got worse. It was like she was trying to push me out of my own house. The breaking point came over something that might seem trivial to some, but to me it was the last straw. My PlayStation 4. It wasn't just a gaming console. It was a gift from my dad for my 18th birthday, one of the last big gifts he ever gave me. We spent countless hours playing together on it. It held a lot of sentimental value. One afternoon, I came home from class ready to unwind with a few games, and it was gone. The console, the controllers, all the games, everything. I searched everywhere, my panic rising with every empty shelf and drawer I checked. I finally confronted Karen, trying to keep my voice steady. "Have you seen my PlayStation?" I asked. She didn't even look up from her magazine. "Oh, that thing. I gave it to my nephew. He'll get more use out of it than you do. You should be studying, not wasting your life on those silly games." I was stunned into silence. She gave away my property, something my dad gave me without even asking. The audacity was breathtaking. I told her she had no right, that it was a gift from my dad. Her response? "Your father would have wanted you to focus on your future, not on toys." That was it. The grief, the frustration, the months of biting my tongue, it all boiled over. But I didn't shout, I didn't scream. A cold, calm resolve settled over me. She wanted to play games? Fine, we'd play one. But this game would be on my terms, and I was going to win. I spent the next few days doing some research. I looked into landlord-tenant laws in my state, my rights as the homeowner, and her rights as a tenant at will, which is what she legally was. Since there was no formal lease, the law was surprisingly on my side. The first step was to formalize our living situation. I drafted a lease agreement. It was a standard, by-the-book document, but I made sure to include some very specific clauses. There was a section on personal property, stating that neither party could dispose of the other's belongings without written consent. I also included a clause about noise levels and guest policies, mirroring all the complaints she'd ever thrown at me. I was turning her own rules back on her. The best part, though, was the rent. I set it at the fair market value for a room in our area, which was a significant amount. I chose a Saturday morning to present it to her. I found her in the kitchen, sipping her coffee. I placed the documents on the table in front of her. "What's this?" she asked, annoyed. "It's a lease agreement," I said calmly. "Since you'll be living here for the next couple of years, I thought it was best to get everything in writing. It protects both of us," she scoffed as she started reading. Her face went through a whole range of emotions. Confusion, then irritation, then pure, unfiltered rage when she saw the monthly rent. "You can't be serious," she shrieked, throwing the papers on the table. "You expect me to pay you to live in my own home?" I just looked at her. "It's my home, Karen. Dad left it to me. He asked that you be allowed to stay, and I'm honoring that. But I'm not required to let you live here for free. This is the arrangement moving forward. You have 30 days to sign it, or you'll have to find another place to live." The look on her face was priceless. She was trapped. She couldn't afford to move out and rent a similar place on her own, especially not on short notice. She spent the next week fuming. She tried everything. She tried guilt-tripping me, saying my father would be ashamed. I told her my father would be ashamed that she gave away a gift he gave me. She tried threatening to call a lawyer. I told her to go ahead because I already had, and my lease was ironclad. She even tried appealing to my emotions, crying about how hard her life was. I just stood my ground. The days ticked by, and the deadline to sign the lease loomed closer. She was getting more and more desperate. Finally, with only a few days to spare, she signed it. She slammed it down on my desk without a word, her jaw tight with anger. The first of the month came, and I waited. Sure enough, no rent. So I proceeded to the next step of my plan. I served her an official notice to pay or quit. It's a legal document that gives a tenant a short period, usually 3 to 5 days, to either pay the rent owed or move out. If they do neither, you can start the eviction process. Karen was furious, but she was also scared. She knew I wasn't bluffing anymore. The next day, the rent money was transferred to my account. It was a small victory, but it felt amazing. For the first time since my dad died, I felt like I had some control over my own life in my own home, and I wasn't done yet. I used a portion of that first month's rent to buy myself a brand new PlayStation 5. I set it up in the exact same spot the old one used to be. When Karen saw it, she just stared, speechless. I just smiled and said, "Thanks for the contribution." The next phase of my plan was even more satisfying. The house was big, with 4 bedrooms. It was just the 2 of us living there, which meant 2 rooms were completely empty. My lease agreement with Karen only covered her bedroom and the common areas. It didn't say anything about the other empty rooms. So, I decided to get some roommates. I put an ad online for 2 rooms for rent, specifically looking for fellow college students. I figured it would be nice to have people my own age around, and the extra income wouldn't hurt either. The response was overwhelming. I interviewed a few people and found 2 great guys, Mike and Tom. They were clean, respectful, and most importantly, they were quiet and just wanted a place to study and relax. I drew up leases for them, and they moved in the following weekend. You can imagine Karen's reaction. She came home to find 2 strangers moving their stuff into the house. She lost it completely. What is the meaning of this? Who are these people? She demanded. I calmly explained, "They're my new tenants, Karen. They're renting the empty rooms." She was sputtering, "You can't do that. This is my house too." I pulled out her lease. "Actually, your lease is for 1 bedroom and use of common areas. This is my house, and I can rent out the other rooms if I want to." She knew she was beaten. Her own lease, the one she fought so hard against, was now being used to justify turning her quiet home into a shared student house. Life in the house changed dramatically. Instead of a tense, silent battlefield, it became a lively, friendly place. Mike, Tom, and I would study together in the living room, cook dinners, and yes, play the new PS5. We were careful to respect the noise clauses I had put in the leases, but the house felt alive again. Karen, on the other hand, retreated into her room. She'd only come out to use the kitchen or bathroom, always with a sour look on her face. She had to share her space with 3 college students, a constant reminder of how her own actions had backfired. The rent money from Karen, Mike, and Tom was more than enough to cover the mortgage and all the bills, with plenty left over. I was able to put a significant amount into savings and even invest some of it. I was building a future for myself, all thanks to her. The best part of the whole thing wasn't the money though. It was the justice. It was taking back control. She tried to make me feel small and powerless in my own home, but she underestimated me. She thought she could just walk all over me, but she learned the hard way that when you disrespect someone's property and their memories, there are consequences. And sometimes, those consequences are paying rent to the person you wronged, which in turn buys them a brand new, upgraded version of the very thing you took away. It's funny how things work out. Thanks for listening to my story, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.